Hello everyone and welcome. Welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today we are diving deep into some truly explosive political commentary. We are breaking down a recent highly charged interview from the Mic on podcast featuring activist and the politician Omoyele Sowore interviewed by Seun Okinbaloye. Sowore pulls no punches as he lays bare his decade-long opposition to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration. He touches on past controversies and critiques current government policies, making some very strong allegations. Get ready for a candid and a controversial discussion that has everyone talking. Sit back and take a watch.
So, in fact, one of the biggest works I did was against Tinubu. In 2008, his drug story, history from that Chicago, United States court in Chicago. I was the one who first got a copy of it and published online. The entire drug court case.
Oshowore,
Yes.
why does it look that you hate Tinubu so much?
No, I don't see. I'm
Do you
just
hate
explaining
him?
I don't hate any one of them.
Why
but,
do you
but I
dislike him?
I hate their politics. I won't deny that. I hate the fact that they are direct opposite of what they've ever promised to be. So you can imagine that this is a Tinubu that we all, during June 12, claimed we want a better country. I didn't meet him I met Abiola. We were more like directly involved with the top during June 12, which is Abiola. Even Abiola, I didn't meet more than once, which you have seen the video from Channels TV. It was an interview that was carried out by the proprietor himself. I was with Nahuru, and they had a meeting inside. It's like I went in to scatter the meeting because I went into all these politicians that I told him, I said, all these people will betray you. And in an attempt to calm him down and try to give me money, I reject. So when we were leaving,
MK wanted to
he
silence you. Wanted to.
he had a duffel bag full of cash beside him. And I think that's the way he operated.
So
When we came in, he just, student leader. Because I don't know who ushered us into their big meeting. But we were the ones who were making all the big gains during June 12 protests. So he said, student leader. And I said to him, I said, Chief, all these people you are saying.
So the Kingibes, the Anauros, all of them were in the
there.
room.
So Anahoro now said, I agree with him. You know, what's this man who now, Zugina, Mbakwe, all of them were there. Jakonde, all of them were there. They were inside his living room is like a stadium.
Ikeja,
all of them.
And
I think they had already given them their money. All of them are clutched to their money. So he looked at me and was giving us 800,000 naira.
At the time.
At that time. It's a lot of money. And I said,
This was 92?
1993.
93, yeah.
I said, Chief, we didn't come here for money. He was shocked. He said, nobody has ever rejected money from me. Yeah, just use it for buy fuel, transport. I said, I didn't know where we're coming from. He like, this money is too much. Even if we are flying a helicopter, I don't think it will cost that much. So we started to leave. And then he stood up and followed me and Nahoro. And we walked out of the place, and John Momo was waiting. That was that interview where I was behind him when I was 22 years old. Yes. So those are the people I know. But to go back to my point, you see them saying, we wanted a better country. But when you look at the antecedents around that time and later, you knew that they were all in bed just looking for power. So it turns out that Tinubu then were involved with the military somehow, with Babangida,
What do you mean?
They were, if you know what they did, they were friends. He had been a senator under the diarchy that Babangida set up. Mm-hmm. So they were all working together. It was just a disagreement over power sharing.
Wouldn't that be contradictory though?
Yeah.
If you say the Tinubu's of this world were in bed with the military, they were fighting. He himself and the rest, he was in fact backing the pro democracy agitators.
You should know this, and we need education around it. The military at that time had factions. They had that faction of the military that they were working with. They were more on the side of the Babangida people, and they were part of the discipleship of Yaradua Senior, the one who died in, I think, Abakaliki prison. So, but the faction that Abacha belonged to was the one who ran them out of town and suppressed. But if you look at it beyond then, when even Abiola was supposed to be released, they kind of switched gear and they became some of the best friends with Abubakar Abdul Salami. When Abubakar Abdul Salami took over power and handed over power to them, do you know where they took him to get an award? Chicago State University. I was one of the people when I protested against him there, which led Kayode Oladele, who was now in the House of Rep, to serve Abubakar with a lawsuit accusing him of killing Abiola. They eventually settled the lawsuit out of court and paid.
These are allegations that Tinubu's of this world were in bed with the military. You don't have evidence.
I do. They can't deny it. I think he said it himself when he met Babangida. You know, I've given you enough circumstantial evidence to know that these things are true. For instance, when I went to Chicago to protest against Abubakar, I saw Ashoba there, and I said, Chief, so all along you people have been in bed with these people. He just told me, he said, Omodenia, you know that you are a small boy now.
Maybe it's a way to also get the military out at the end of the day, because there is a way that you get to the street. Sometimes you get.
No, but I've described their political antecedents to you. It wasn't they had to see whatever is happening now. They have planned it all along. We had a pure position on how to drive the military out of power. They joined us because there was a fight. They had an issue amongst themselves. And I think in the course of that fight, they maintained that relationship with the military. And because they were not here, you wouldn't know. They all were in exile. We were the ones roughing it out here.
So yes. That's the reason. That's your reason for not liking Bola Tinubu's
when you look at what they're doing now, it makes the military look like nice people.
Oh
yes,
you're comparing a democratic,
whatever they're doing now makes
to a military rule.
Whatever
what makes this government look like a military rule?
No, you look at what they're doing with human rights. You look at what they're doing with freedom of speech. This Tinubu government has implemented suppression of free speech more than the military.
How?
Do you know how many people are pulled out of police stations and prisons because of cybercrime?
And that's Tinubu.
Who appointed the IG? Whose government are we under? No, just tell me.
There could be anybody doing all of that.
No, you can't do that if the president doesn't approve.
Do you know what your children are doing right at home at the moment? Can you be held responsible?
I may not be held responsible, but I know where my children are at all times, courtesy of technology.
I'm saying there are a lot of things that could happen under a government that you cannot hold the head of the government directly accountable. Yes, the buck stop on the table, but when you blame
I'm glad that you said the box.
Anti-free speech,
anti-free speech, anti-democratic practices, election rigging, all these issues are ones that you can link directly to him.
That is the reason why you don't like his politics.
I don't like their politics. There's no question about it.
That was quite the conversation with Omoyele Sowore. His passion and deep-seated grievances against President Tinubu and his policies are evident. Sowore's interview with Seun Okinbaloye covered a lot of ground, spanning several decades of Nigerian politics. He openly stated his hatred for Tinubu's policies, not necessarily the individual, asserting that Tinubu's actions are direct opposite of what they've ever promised to be. One of the most striking revelations was Sowore's claim about Tinubu's alleged drug history, specifically mentioning a Chicago court case from 2008. He emphasized that he was the first to obtain and publish a copy of the entire drug case online. This ties into a narrative Sowore often pushes about Tinubu's past. He also recounted his personal encounter with NKO Abiola during the June 12 struggle, noting that figures like Kingibe and other prominent politicians were present in Abiola's living room, which he described as being like a stadium. Sowore claimed Abiola offered him 800,000 naira, a significant sum at the time, that is 1993, which he says he rejected, emphasizing that he and his peers were not seeking money but a better country. Sowore went on to allege that Tinubu and the others he referred to as Tinubu'S of this world were in bed with the military during Babangida and Abacha eras. He painted a picture of military factions, with Tinubu aligning with Babangida's camp. suggesting that their participation in the pro-democracy movement was driven by power struggles rather than genuine democratic ideals. So, for my critical take, Sowore's allegations are certainly provocative and contribute to the ongoing, often heated political discourse in Nigeria. However, it is crucial for us to approach such claims with a critical and discerning mind. The references to Tinubu's alleged drug past and military ties are not new. They have been part of his political landscape for some time, while Sowore asserts he has enough circumstantial evidence to back these claims, and even states that Tinubu himself has said it himself when he met Babangida. It's important for the public to scrutinize the evidence presented and seek independent verification. In Nigerian politics, historical narratives can often be contested and framed to serve specific political agenda. His comparison for the current democratic government's action, particularly regarding human rights and freedom of speech, to those of military rules is a strong accusation. Sowore explicitly states that the Tinubu government has implemented suppression of free speech more than previous military regimes. Well, if I am to say, Tinubu's government no dey suppress free speech to the best of my knowledge. You can remember what happened. Even Sowore himself should remember how many times he was in prison because of during what do you call it, Buhari's administration. I can't remember how many people Tinubu has arrested because of free speech. If you sabi anyone, I beg help me put them for comment section. Maybe we talk am there. For the fact I know, be say now Buhari will be the person we dealt with Sowore. Even when Buhari died, Sowore said it himself. So why is he now trying to make it look as if Tinubu administration is worse than military? All these things now political talks. So this highlights a significant concern for many citizens who expect democratic government to uphold fundamental freedoms. Whether these actions constitute a return to military era suppression is a matter of intense debate and depends on one's perspective and experience. Ultimately, Sowore's interview serves as a powerful reminder of the deep division and historical baggage within Nigeria's politics. It urges us to remain vigilant, to question narratives, and to demand transparency and accountability from all political actors. What are your thoughts on Omoyele Sowore's revelation? Do you agree with his assessment of President Tinubu's past and the current policies? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Oba's Trending Gist for more compelling discussions. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update.